the 51st Earth Day. This is an opportunity for us to repeat what has been going on for the last 50 years, an awareness about the Earth and it's being threatened by human action. The awareness, that's part of what the message is, and it's been that way since the very beginning in 1970. Over and over, we have talked about different parts of our world which has been polluted, the waste that has been created, the efforts that humans have made in the wrong direction. All of these have been brought out over the period of this half a century. We're at a second half century now. What are we going to say different? Or can we? The answer is we can say some things different, but at the same time there's a basic message. First, that we must have awareness. Now some people will say, well, we all are aware that there's something wrong. We have hot summers. We've watched wildfires grow like mad in California. And we've had hurricanes. The glaciers are all melting. We seem to all know that something is wrong. There is a question as to what has caused it. Now that question hasn't been totally answered in our country or their world. While 3/4 of the people know that something should be done, still, when you press the issue very much, a lot of people still deny that human beings were the cause of it. They admit that, well, the climate is changing, and it's not changing for the better for the greater part, but they say it's not humans that caused it. Still, the major part of the population and those that will listen to this message will say that it is, that human beings have caused the issues, and that our moral responsibility is to do something about it. So that first part of Earth Day, becoming aware that things are wrong, is still there. It's a little different today because we've got a new awareness that we just heard about quite recently, and that was this bitcoins that we have. The cryptocurrency is causing as much energy consumption, and that means the emissions of carbon dioxide too, 13 million metric tons a year from what is being done at this time with the growing popularity of that bitcoins. And that awareness was not there, equivalent to a medium or small nation's total energy consumption. That was not aware a few years ago. So here is an issue that is coming before us, just as over the period of time we've had new issues. Yes, we do have them, but we also have the same ones reappearing, that human beings are in many ways suffering because of the air and the water pollution, which is going down in many parts of the world, but is still there for other parts, and especially in areas where poor people live. The second area is that we do something about it. Now here again, the greater part of the population that would listen to Earth Day broadcast would say they are doing something. They could be recycling of some sort. They could be stopping the overuse of energy in their homes. When summer, they try to keep the temperature a little bit closer to normal, even though they're trying to keep cool. And in winter, they reduce the amount of warm air that they need at that time. Or they might be trying to do less driving, less travel, or even getting an electric car or having solar energy in their house. There's all types of things that people are doing to various degrees, and there's a lot written on that, and there's a lot of examples given to people as to what to do about being people who need to do something. We are not only people who must be aware, we are people who must act and do something. And that those two come together. And so we see something that is of great importance to us today, that we are to be participants on this Earth Day. Then we move to a third And this area is a lot more difficult to talk about, but it's connected. Our Holy Father, Pope Francis, is one of them that says that the social environment and the physical environment are connected. They're connected in a very special way. Now, what do we mean by social? We know what physical is. The social environment includes the fact that we have growing amounts of inequality. Less than 1% of our people in the world own over half the world's possessions, and they have influence. And that deepens destruction of our very democratic system, for they have a lot more power and ability to say and influence things than you do or I do, because we don't own that type of material. So when we look at this, we say inequality has to be addressed. At the same time, we address the pollution and the physical environmental problems. Address it together. This is the third area, and it involves, again, everybody in the world, including you and me. And we all have to think in terms of what are we going to do. Currently, in all political parties, so this is not a partisan issue, all political parties have people in them who say that, oh, let them own what they have. Let them have what they got. They got it properly. It was legal the way they did it, even though they helped create the legality that made it. And as we look at it a little deeper, we say, well, if we look back to our founding fathers, Ben Franklin himself said that there should be limits to the property that people have. And I think that that argument that he made over 200 years ago at the Constitutional Convention, both of Pennsylvania and when he also went to the national one. And yet he was considered senile in the way he was thinking. But he was way ahead of his time. We should think the same way. There are limits to what people should have, and the redistribution of that excess that they have could easily finance the infrastructure maintenance and the improvement, installation of renewable energy sources that are so utterly needed today. Yes, the two are together, social and physical environment. And this is the third area, along with awareness of problems, along with us doing individual acts. This is the third area because we must address this to our legislators and make sure they understand that they are not just beholden to those who can give large financial contributions to them because of their wealth, but that they must see this as something that is worthy of change, profound change. These three areas are what we're looking at today as we begin the second half of the century of trying to clean up our threatened earth and its environment. Think about these. It involves us all. It involves you and me. Thank you.